Hello, divine beings of light, and welcome back to my channel. This is Cosmic Acacia. I'm believing that everyone is having a great summer or winter, I guess, wherever you live. I'm making this podcast in June of 2026, and I'm just believing that you all are healthy and happy and living your life for your highest good. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about something that came to my awareness as I've been working through the Sophia Code with the Divine Feminine Ascended Masters. As I was going through, typically I like to start my podcast with a poem, but today I think I'm going to end the podcast with a poem. So I'm going to talk about, I have done some womb healing based on the awarenesses that I came to as I've been working through the Sophia Code. As I was working through that, I was doing a Mary Magdalene Divine Feminine activation, and as I'm visualizing with this activation, I come to the conclusion that not only was Mary Magdalene a woman that had the divine feminine qualities of being loving and nurturing and compassionate, and gentle and warm and receptive and empathetic, and all those qualities. The other part of the divine feminine, where a lot of people don't understand the darker qualities of the divine feminine, she also had the qualities of being fiercely authentic. She didn't wear a mask, and she didn't become somebody to make other people happy, or so she was very authentic. She lived her life as Mary Magdalene. She didn't put on a front. She was fearless. She was confident. She was assertive. She was magnetic. She was sensual. And I came to the awareness of learning all these qualities of the divine feminine, the light and the dark, bringing them both into balance. I realized that my divine feminine is wounded. And doing this initiation brought that to my awareness. And once that was brought to my awareness, I received the thoughts, I believe through channeling from spirit, that I needed to find a womb healer and participate in that womb healing to help heal my womb area of all my traumas, my generational cycles, so that it would be easier for my divine feminine to awaken, for me to remember that part that I am created to be. We have been women nowadays have been reprogrammed through religion and through upbringing and generational cycles that a woman is only supposed to be those positive qualities, and that we are, it's really the dark qualities of the divine feminine are the empowerment qualities. And that's what I'm lacking. And that's what I am learning how to become. So this womb healing has taken an extended period of time to complete. So in order to do this podcast, I'm going to read what I experienced with the womb healing from my journal. That way I won't forget anything, and I automatic wrote this as I went along. So I'm going to read that experience, and then at the end of this podcast, I will read the poem that I found about divine feminine flow. After my activations with some of the ascended master divine feminine women, with the Sophia Code book, I came to the awareness of the light and dark qualities of the divine feminine that I wasn't formally aware of, understanding that those light dark qualities have to be in balance to be whole. A lot of those qualities definitely were not taught to me in my religion, showing me the imbalance of my being. Some of these qualities empower the woman, and the patriarchy wanted to control the women and make them submissive, codependent, and selfless. I was taught in my religion to strive to be the worthy woman in Proverbs 31, a helpmeet to my husband, which was submissive, and to serve everyone but myself. Not having some of these qualities of the divine feminine that would empower me, and having suppressed trauma locked in my womb, in my sacral chakra, like those um, of being empowered also in creativity. I was called through synchronicities to find a Mayan practitioner who specializes in womb healing. I found one in my town, and I'm going to tell you what happened on some of my visits with this Mayan womb practitioner. On the first visit, she got to know my energy and nervous system, and she did some massage using castor oil and plant and flower placements on my body. A very calming atmosphere with a massage table, Mayan music playing in the background, and a fountain with water flowing right there in the room. She had me lay down face first because she wanted to massage me first to ground me and sense my energy and the state of my nervous system. Once she completed that, she had me turn over on my back, and she placed the castor oil pack on my abdomen area with a heating pad on top of the castor oil pack. While that sat on my abdomen, she did different point activations from the bottoms of my feet to my head, like acupuncture, only with her hands and fingers instead of needles. She covered my eyes with a special cloth so I couldn't see what I was doing. And but once she finished with her version of acupuncture, she took the castor oil pack off and started to massage my abdomen, checking out certain muscles, and she was checking my colon. After that, she then placed flower petals on my abdomen area and rubbed a different flower oil on that abdomen area also. I could smell something burning, not sure if it was Palo Santo or something else. She started chanting and singing in a different language. I'm not sure if it was Mayan or light language. When done, she told me that my nervous system was surprisingly in a good place. The only tension she experienced was from the waist down to my knees. She reminded me to concentrate on relaxing that area and not forcing my legs together so tightly. Other muscles that seemed tight in my abdomen, she gave me specific exercises to do to lengthen them. She said there was some blockages in my colon, but she thought most of the blockages were um, energetic in nature, caused by either my trauma, suppressed emotions, or ancestral trauma. She wanted me to do the exercises at home and apply the castor oil pack twice a week uh, until our next visit. During the week after that session, I experienced some feelings in my body, in my stomach. Heaviness like a rock was in my stomach. I didn't eat very much for the next day or two. I also noticed emotions that I couldn't associate with. I just felt very sad. It finally came through in my meditations that the feelings I was feeling were lost, disconnected from our bodies. Disconnected from our bodies physically, spiritually, sexually, emotionally, not being in control of our own bodies. That feeling came from me as well as my ancestors, especially my mother and grandmother. That feeling of lost due to the traumas they endured in their lives. They never really understood, they didn't really understand that these feelings were caused by trauma. They knew something was unexplainable to them, so the only word to describe it was lost. At my second session, she massaged deeper in the womb area and taught me the massage techniques so I could do it at home along with my castor oil pack. Instead of doing it twice a week, I could do it whenever I felt called to do it. At the end of the appointment, after massaging deeper, she had trouble finding my uterus. Based on the feel, she thought it was tilting back onto my colon. In her words, it's like your uterus is trying to hide. It doesn't want to be seen. I got very emotional, which caused the practitioner to get emotional. She recommended, before our next massage, to set up an appointment for a yoni steam at the next visit, to use herbs and flowers with an intention of love and acceptance being sent to the uterus through the powers of the herbs and flowers. So I went home and did the massage with the castor oil pack until the next visit. During that time, I received feelings of unworthiness. Our trauma had to be our fault because the people that love us the most, why would they do that to us if it wasn't our fault? So that's the feelings I got during that time. The third visit started with the yoni steam. I put my intention into the herbs and flowers and sat above the steam for 20 minutes. After that, she did deeper massage on my abdomen, and I made the appointment for my next session where she was going to lay me on my sides so she could have a better angle to massage around my uterus to help move it back to its original location. I was to continue my massage and castor oil pack at home until the next session. One time that week, when I did the packs and the massage, I started coughing, gagging, and spitting. The thoughts came that I was experiencing feelings and reactions of not being able to speak our truth, and then being made to do things sexually that we didn't want to do. A few days before my next appointment, a major memory came forward about my deeper sexual abuse. My brain didn't start processing it until I was driving to that appointment. That memory hit me while driving to the appointment, and I couldn't find the street that I was looking for. The more I looked, the more frustrated I became. I know I was going to be late. I knew I was going to be late, but I couldn't find the text on my phone to send her a text. I finally thought to go to maps on my phone and just type the name of the street. If I could get to the street, I could find the building. I ended up being 10 minutes late. She took me to the room right away, had me get comfortable on the table, and while I did that, she went outside and got rose petals and put them all over my body. She covered me with a blanket. I was very emotional, and I told her I was very cold. She turned the heat up on the mat that I was laying on and got a heating pad and put it on my abdomen. I couldn't seem to lie still and keep I couldn't seem to lie still. I I was moving constantly in my feet, my legs. She covered my eyes. I couldn't seem to lie still, and I kept stretching and arcing my back. My hands felt stiff, and I continued to cry and release emotions. While this was happening, the practitioner started playing Mayan music, and she sprayed something over me. I couldn't see what it was because, like I said, she had covered my eyes. She began chanting and singing and asking the Mayan spirits to come in and help me to release what no longer served me out of my body. After a time, my body relaxed and I no longer felt cold. I felt weak and tired. She wanted to leave me alone for 10 minutes to just be by myself. And she told me not to get up by myself. After the 10 minutes, she came back and sat me up and rubbed my back until she knew I was safe to get dressed to go home. Once I was dressed, she came in and said that I had a somatic release, which is when stored trauma is released from the body. I had in the past had somatic releases, but those have happened with the aid of plant medicine. This was the first release that I experienced without that type of aid. I had had an appointment to have a release session the following week with intentions. But this release happened without an intention. So I was supposed to go the next week and do a release with an intention, but the practitioner got sick. And then she's now on vacation. So I don't know when that appointment will take place at this point. But I just wanted to share with you what I've experienced on my path due to starting the Sophia Code. That spirit led me that this womb healing was going to be for my highest good, and I wanted to share that with you. And if and when I set up another appointment for a release with an intention, I can inform you of what happens with that. Again, I want to thank you for being here today and for being a part of this channel. If what I said resonated with you, or if you have any questions or comments, if you'd like to like and subscribe, I welcome you to this channel. I welcome any comments or questions. And I want to finish my podcast today with a poem that I found on the internet. And it's entitled Divine Feminine Flow. And it's a poem by J.S. Planetary World Bridger. And this is the poem. In whispers of the wind, a sacred call, the divine feminine awakened in us all. With grace and power she starts to rise, guiding us to see through her loving eyes. She dances in our hearts a vibrant flow, unveiling the depths that we've yet to know. Her essence like a river strong and free, unleashing the goddess within for all to see. She nurtures our souls with gentle care, embracing our flaws and soothing our despair. Through her we find strength in vulnerability, tapping into wisdom, embracing femininity. Her energy pulses through every cell, a radiant light in which we dwell. With passion and love, she ignites our fire, inspiring us to dream and reach higher. She teaches us to trust our inner voice, to honor our intuition, our divine choice. With her guidance, we find our way back home to the goddess within where we truly belong. So let us embrace her with open hearts and allow her essence to play its part. For in the divine feminine eternal embrace, we find our power, our love, our grace. Again, I hope you don't mind me reading what happened to me on my podcast, on my womb healing, because it was a span of weeks that I had those appointments, and I automatic wrote them so I could remember everything to share with you. So again, thank you for being here, and until next time, namaste.